Today we're going to prepare a report, pretending we're on a nature programme like the Blue Planet. So we're going to be reporting on the life of the penguin, and we will let our viewers know all of the facts about the wonderful creature. So we'll say that it's a bird with feathers and wings and a beak, although the wings are flippers. We'll report on its habitat, which is very often the cold, icy Antarctic. We'll include information about the penguin's diet, that it eats fish, that it dives for into the cold water. And finally, some of the behaviours, including the way that emperor penguins often huddle together in colonies for warmth and protection. I'm going to add images to my screen to help me with my report. So I'll include the penguin, the bird with feathers, wings and a beak. Wings are flippers. I'll include the habitat, which very often, not always, very often is the cold, icy Antarctic, where there are no buildings or trees. I'll add the fish that it dives for into the cold, icy water. And I'll include also the behaviour of the emperor penguin, which gathers together in large colonies. I'm going to record on my screen so you can hear back some of the words that I'm going to use to help practice my report. Penguins are remarkable creatures. They are, of course, birds with feathers, a beak and wings, although the wings act as flippers to help them swim. Penguins are remarkable creatures. They are, of course, birds with feathers, a beak and wings, although the wings act as flippers to help them swim. The cold, icy Antarctic habitat is often home for these wonderful birds. It's just a landscape of ice with no buildings or trees. The cold, icy Antarctic habitat is often home for these wonderful birds. It's just a landscape of ice with no buildings or trees. A rich diet of fish is the main source of food for the penguin. They hunt and swim deep into the cold, icy waters to catch their prey. A rich diet of fish is the main source of food for the penguin. They hunt and swim deep into the cold, icy waters to catch their prey. Emperor penguins often huddle together in large colonies for warmth and protection. Emperor penguins often huddle together in large colonies for warmth and protection. I'm going to say some sentences now and I'll ask you to join in. When I pause, if my hands go near my ears, it means I'm expecting you to call out. Whatever word you think fits will be right. Penguins are birds. Like all birds, they have wings and feathers and although the wings help them swim and act as penguins can be found in the cold Antarctic habitat, where there is lots of ice and very few trees or they feed on a rich diet of which they catch in the cold, icy. Emperor penguins huddle together in large colonies to keep warm and for protection. I'd like you to find a partner. If your teacher can help with that, the video can be paused. When you've got a partner, decide who is number one, you go first, who is number two, you go second. Number one, we'll talk about the bird and its features, its wings, its beak. Number two, we'll talk about the habitat, the icy Antarctic. Number one, the diet of fish. Number two, the behaviour of the emperor penguin. And I will ask you to take turns. Number one, go first. Here goes. Number one, tell your partner about the penguin, what it is and its appearance. Number two, its habitat. Number one, its diet. And number 2, the behaviour of the emperor penguin in the colony. Go on. I'm going to use the pictures to help me do the whole thing. I'll imagine now I'm on the show. Penguin World is my presentation debut on TV. Here goes. Oh, by the way, when you're speaking to an audience, an invisible microphone often helps. It helps me, but you don't have to use one. I'll have one in my hand. Welcome to Penguin World. Penguins are birds. These wonderful creatures have wings and feathers and a beak, although the wings don't help them fly, they help them swim. They're flippers. The habitat of this remarkable bird is very often the cold Antarctic landscape, where there are no buildings or trees, just ice. Penguins feed on a rich diet of fish which they catch from the cool, icy seas. Emperor penguins often huddle together in large colonies to keep warm and for protection. I'll keep the pictures up. If your teacher can help choose somebody to do that, they might want to stand up or come to the front, but to give a presentation for Penguin World on these remarkable creatures. I'll leave the pictures up to help. Who's going to have a try? I'm going to try without looking. And one of you, or more, you could all try this in your pairs, can have a go after me. I'll remember the pictures in my mind and I'll try to do it without looking at the images. Penguins are amazing creatures. They have feathers and wings and a beak. The wings, though, are flippers to help them swim. They can be found in the cold, icy Antarctic landscape. They feed on a diet of fish which they catch from the waters, and emperor penguins often huddle together for warmth and protection. Over to you. Your teacher could choose someone now. If there's somebody in the room that thinks they could speak to us all about the penguins without looking, then great. Otherwise, it might be something you try in your pair. Our last task is writing. I'd like you to imagine you're writing the script for the presenter of Penguin World. Give them the words they'll need to use to explain all about penguins to their audience. This will be quick. You've already practiced loads, so you'll know exactly what to write. The pictures will stay on the screen to help you, but now it's time to write. Write about the bird, its habitat, its diet and its behaviour. Thank you for joining in with this activity.